So in this video, I'm going to try to answer the question, where is the yield curve an inversion? And the relevance of this question is that when the yield curve inverts, and this happened here, and what I mean by the yield curve is the 10-year minus 3-month difference in yields that tends to represent the entire yield curve, because you have the long maturity and very short maturity points. So that tends to give you an idea of the trend of the yield curve. And when it inverts, this one, 10-year minus 3-month, when it inverts, and it inverted here around October 2022, typically within 18 months from its inversion, you have a recession. So we had this happen here and with the COVID recession, and it was followed by an inversion that occurred before that. So within 18 months, it was actually much faster than that, but we had a recession, so we should have a recession. But typically the yield curve un-inverts, as we can see here. So typically the yield curve un-inverts before the recession, or very close to the recession. So the question is, where is the un-inversion? It's not showing up on the graph. The yield curve continues inverted. The un-inversion is in fact in the 10-year minus 2-year, because the 2-year Treasury is a predictor of the 3-month Treasury yield. So the yield of the 2-year Treasury seems to be a good predictor of the yield of the 3-month Treasury, and also of the Fed funds rate. And as we can see, we have the un-inversion here. So if I show the two graphs, one next to the other, so up here we have the 10-year minus 3-month, and at the bottom we have the 10-year minus 2-year. So as you can see, they tend to be similar, these graphs. And what's happening here is that this is essentially the future of this one. So the bottom is more or less a predictor of what will happen with the top. So the bottom is showing an inversion. It's almost close to zero, so it's almost completely uninverted, and this one should follow. And when this happens, it can happen very fast. So in a matter of a month, for example, you could see this un-inversion, and then we have the recession. And we talk about this in this article. You can actually look it up on the internet. I believe the article is available in full text from the journal Communication in Statistics. It's an article called "How Many Times Until a Coincidence Becomes a Pattern? The Case of Yield Curve Inversions Preceding Recessions and the Magical Number 7." This is an article that has been authored by me and Augustine Tarcom. Augustine Tarcom is a doctoral student in finance, soon to become a professor of finance in a very prestigious university. So we wrote this article, and the main point that we make in this article is that this yield curve inversion recession phenomenon, this connection between yield curve inversions and recessions, this has happened enough times already for this phenomenon not to be called a coincidence anymore, but a statistically significant pattern with a 5% type 1 error rate, which means that we assume that 1 in 20 cases the yield curve will invert, and we're not going to have a recession. So we're going to have a type 1 error, but 1 in 20 is very little. That's 5%. and that is what characterizes a phenomenon being a statistically significant pattern. And in this paper, we do talk about the 10-year minus 2-year being a predictor of the 10-year minus 3-month, because the 2-year yield tends to predict the 3-month yield, and also the Fed funds rate. Thank you for watching this video.